Hello and welcome, Silrace here, and I wish to talk about Elder Scrolls Online. Let me first apologize here and say that my videos have been a little scarce of late because I caught a bit of a flu and I'm still recovering from that and don't want to stress my voice overly much at the moment. So there is that. Now I want to talk about Elder Scrolls Online. I am not part of the press, I cannot actually show you footage from the beta weekends I have played and so on. And there is NDA in place, so I can't exactly go into like tiny details, but there is a lot of things I can talk about and want to talk about. And I'm gonna split these obviously to multiple shorter videos so you don't have to just listen to one long ass ramble or whatever. And also background footage is some Skyrim stuff because, well, firstly it fits, and secondly thank you to all the modders out there who keep this game fresh even after its release. So for this video I want to present a question and try to answer it to the best of my ability, as well as probably come up with a couple other questions, and I want to hear about your opinions of this whole thing in the comment section below. So basically, Skyrim Online or Elder Scrolls Online? Because if we take a look back to the three big names in the Elder Scrolls series, Morrowind, Oblivion and Skyrim. Games with a lot of freedom, basically a sandbox world you can go and do whatever the heck you want in, right? This is the premise of these games. Then again, if you take a look at a bit of a more of a theme park MMORPG, which Elder Scrolls Online to me seems like, such as EverQuest 2, World of Warcraft, Star Wars The Old Republic, you're condensed into smaller areas and you have to basically finish an area before you are high enough level to move on to the next one. You don't have the same freedom. Now in Skyrim Online, let's pretend there is a Skyrim Online for the moment. Imagine the world of Skyrim. You probably have played that game, you probably have played Morrowind and Oblivion too. And imagine the world made as it is in a multiplayer, for example 4-player co-op setting. There would actually be no incentive for the players to interact with each other whatsoever, because everyone can pretty much solo any content in the game. They could all run into their own fun, friendly, whatever dungeon they happen to like, whatever quest they like, whatever hold they like to be in. They could all split all over the map and never see each other again. And just play the game solo. Whereas in Elder Scrolls Online, because it's an MMORPG, you want players to interact with each other. You want players to, well, firstly, you want them to make friends, so they have someone to play the game with once they, get to the end game content you are providing them, where you basically have to group with other players, typically. And also, so that they get used to their class roles, the way their character functions in a setting with multiple players around. This is the premise for MMORPGs. You teach players how to function as a group, and then you present them with a group goal. Whereas single-player games such as Skyrim, you do whatever the heck you want, on your own time, when you want. So, as I'm looking at this question, and this whole thing, and these concepts, I do not believe that we are going to see Skyrim Online out of Elder Scrolls Online. Which is why it's probably named Elder Scrolls Online and not Skyrim Online, but that is, you can name your game whatever you want, in all honesty. You can throw whatever the name you want on it and then just do something else with it than what the name implies. Name means very little these days, except to be an eye-catcher and to get people hyped up about it. However, if you are coming to Elder Scrolls Online as a player and expecting to see and hear and feel something that games such as Morrowind and Skyrim gave you, you are probably going to be disappointed. Because it will not be the same freedom you experienced in those games. It will not be the same kind of exploration you experienced in those games. You will be going through a bit more of a linear path and so on. Is this a bad thing? From an MMORPG standpoint, it is not. Because, well, you have to learn how your character functions, the class of your choice, the abilities of your choice. You have to learn how they function before you move on to the difficult content where you might have to, well, be able to use those abilities in a context of having multiple people around and actually trying to, you know, take down a big, scary, bad monster thingamajig who is terrorizing the countryside. Or whatever heroic thing you want. I prefer villainous things anyways. But let's not go into the whole hero versus villain debate, and let's talk a bit more about this whole question then. Because if we do a direct comparison as well, you have to restrict also things such as crafting and crafting materials. Why? Because you don't want a low-level character, one which is freshly out of the tutorial area, to be able to don an orcish armor set, for example, which would allow that character to straight up run through all the newbie content right away. But you can do that in Skyrim. You can wander into an orc stronghold and simply steal the whole set, and you are set with armor for quite a while, actually. Armor which you shouldn't be able to get at that point right away anyways. But you can do it in Skyrim, because it's a free-to-play game, free-forming game. The same way goes with, for example, mounts. In Skyrim you can simply steal yours. In an Elder Scrolls Online, in an MMORPG setting, you don't want to give players that. Unless you make mounts extremely weak or extremely slow, but if it's actually traveling speed, you want them to have to work towards it and, for example, make it cost a lot of gold. So, in Elder Scrolls Online, in an MMORPG setting, there are going to be gateways you will have to first make your way through to be able to access the next set of gateways. In a Skyrim Online, you would simply have no gateways, you could go and do whatever you want. So, to finish this whole thing up, firstly, I want to know what you people think in the comments section. What do you expect out of this game? Do you expect the serious freedom you had in Morrowind, Skyrim, Oblivion? Or do you expect to see a proper MMORPG where you have to actually level up and the real game starts at the maximum level endgame content? How much freedom do you expect to see in a game like this? Or are you just expecting to see Skyrim-esque, Morrowind-esque combat mechanics and maybe character development? Instead of, you know, actual Skyrim Online, like I said. Personally, I am an MMORPG player, and while I feel like MMORPGs have been really stagnant for a long damn time, they are doing the same thing over and over, not many companies are willing to take big risks with the genre. So I am not personally expecting to see Skyrim Online. I'm expecting to see a more linear version of Skyrim, of Morrowind, where they try to capture the feeling of the single player game and then make as many concessions towards those games as possible while keeping it a core MMORPG, trying to find a middle ground between the two. This is my expectations of the game. Now, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you found this question and answer and other things feasible. And if you have any questions of the similar nature, please post them in the comments section and I'll see if I can come up with some answers and whatnot. But remember, NDA sets in place. I'm not gonna go and answer any random details of the game. Like I said, thank you very much for watching.